Recently, I bought a brand new PS3 Navigator. But after unboxing it, I realized that it is broken. How is it even possible? Well, let's check it out. Let's have a look at the label to see if it is genuine or not. The answer is, I don't know. If you know, please leave a comment below. Let's see if it powers up. No, it doesn't. Well, the battery inside this controller has been discharging for over 10 years. It kind of makes sense. Let's charge it up to see how it goes. Nice, it's charging. Let's see if it works over the USB cable. Yes, it works. That means the controller itself is fine. Let's give it some time to charge up. When charging the controller, I noticed something seriously wrong. The blinking of LED indicator is not normal. It blinks for 10 times and then stops. According to my experience, this kind of blinking indicates that there's no battery inside. Or the battery inside is dead, and the controller thinks it's not even there. After a long pause, it blinks for another 10 times and then stops again. This cycle goes on forever. I have tried other ways, such as plugging it directly into a PC, using an official PlayStation controller charger. None of them work.
One eternity later.
Even after charging for 10 hours, it's still the same. The LED indicator stops blinking after 10 times. It keeps on like this over and over. When the USB cable is plugged in, it connects to the PS3. When the cable is unplugged, it disconnects immediately. Here's another angle for you to see both my controller and my screen. When I disconnect the USB cable, it's no longer functioning. I wonder what's wrong inside. Let's take it apart with Phillips screwdriver number 1. It seems I can't remove the battery like this. We need to disassemble it even more. Finally, we get to the battery connector. Let's remove it. At this point, you can simply buy a replacement battery and plug it back to the controller. The one on the left is original and the one on the right is replacement. For me, I will take the difficult path and try to fix the original battery. I will use the information on the sticker to fix the battery. It says 0.5 amp and 4.25 volt on the label, which is equivalent to 2 watt. This information will be useful when we charge a battery manually. But now, let's measure the voltage on the original battery. I get 0.04 volt, which is basically equal to 0. I did a bit of research on the meaning of 0 voltage on a battery, and I found this post. It says to revive a 0 voltage lithium-ion battery, I need to apply a constant current of 10 mA. Let's try it. This is the power supply for my workshop. Before we start, let's try the constant voltage charging method and set the current limit to 0.5 amp. The problem now is how to connect the battery to the power supply. I came up with this little trick. I ordered a bunch of JST 2.0 PH 2-pin connector from Amazon. It comes with this connector. Plug this connector to the battery. The positive and negative terminals are now exposed. After that, plug the cable to the exposed terminals. Make sure the positive side of the cable plugs to the positive side of the terminal. Now you have 2 cables. The red one is for positive and the black one is for negative. Connect the cables to the power supply. Again, the positive cable should go to the positive terminal of the power supply and vice versa. Take it slowly and make sure both cables are well connected to the power supply. Turn on the power supply but don't output any voltage yet. Reduce the target voltage to 0. Now press the output button. The power supply is now outputting 0 voltage. Slowly increase the voltage to 4 volts and pay attention to the current output. As I slowly increase the voltage to 4 volts, the current output stays the same as 0. Even I overshoot the voltage a little bit to 5 volts. There is still no current flowing into the battery. Even when we leave it charging for a few more minutes, the current output is still 0. Now let's stop the output. This time, we will try to charge our battery using constant current. To enter constant current mode, set the current limit to 0 and tune up the voltage limit to around 35. Double check and make sure the setting is correct. The current should be set to 0 amp. Also make sure it is in constant current mode. Turn on the output. The voltage indicator should drop to 0. Now set the current to 10 mA. The voltage slowly increases to 35 volts. The number here may be a little bit scary, but even with 36 volts together with 10 mA of current, it is just equal to 0.36 watt, which is still well below the 2 watt limit written on the sticker of the battery. As we charge the battery with constant 10 mA, the voltage slowly decreases and it suddenly drops to around 1 volt. It is analogous to pushing a very heavy door. You apply a huge amount of force, but the door doesn't move at all. And once the door is opened, you don't need to push that hard. But I'm not an battery expert. My explanation might be wrong. If you know what's going on, please feel free to leave a comment below. Now let's measure the voltage of our battery again. It reads 0.5 volt, which is much better than before. We just need to continue charging it up. Let's reassemble everything back together. First, plug the battery back to the circuit board. Put the circuit board back to the plastic case and put the battery back to the plastic holder. Finally, put the last piece back to the controller. Time to charge it up again using a USB cable. And I hope it works this time. We need to check if it stops blinking after 10 times. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, it is charging normally this time. We will charge it for a few more hours.
1 eternity later.
The LED indicator is completely off. I hope it has been fully charged. We need to make sure even after disconnecting the USB cable, the controller stays connected to the PS3. Yes, it is working now. I can even use this controller to turn on my PS3 remotely. This brand new broken PS3 Navigator is now fixed. Thank you for watching. If you want to see me fixing more stuffs, leave a like and subscribe